Marcelo Garcia. He didn't look like he was about to wreck the world's toughest black belts, but the moment he stepped on the mat, everything changed. Just 5'8", competing in the 77-kilogram division, Marcelo Garcia didn't rely on power. He rewired how people thought BJJ could be played, and once he figured out how to weaponize that guillotine choke and butterfly guard combo, it was a wrap. ADCC 2003 in Sao Paulo was supposed to be his coming out party. He choked out Renzo Gracie. Then he tapped Vitor Shaolin with a rear naked choke and made it to the finals as a relative unknown. That run didn't just shake the bracket, it redefined what technique over strength looked like in real time. He went on to win 4 ADCC titles, plus 5 world championships in gi competition. His X-guard and arm drags became required study. His approach was always surgical. No trash talk, no ego, no chest thumping, just tap after tap after tap. But what really separates Marcelo? He was submitting giants. He went after heavyweights like it was personal. He didn't avoid pressure, he invited it. Look at his 2005 ADCC Absolute Division performance, facing guys way bigger than him, and he still walked away with silver. Who does that? And while most legends spend their later years holding seminars or posting throwbacks, Marcelo built a room in NYC that turned into a black belt factory. Guys like Mateus Diniz, Dylan Dennis before the Twitter era, and countless elite competitors sharpened their blades under his calm technical guidance. Eddie Bravo, 2003 Sao Paulo. Nobody expected it. Not the crowd, not the commentators, and definitely not Royler Gracie. But Eddie Bravo didn't come to play defense, he came to shock the system. The triangle choke on Royler in the ADCC quarterfinals didn't just cause a seismic upset, it lit the fuse on a grappling revolution. Because here was this unranked brown belt from Los Angeles, beating a Gracie and doing it with moves nobody'd ever seen. Eddie's rubber guard, lockdown half guard, and twister weren't just weird, they were blasphemous to the traditionalists. But Eddie didn't care. He went back to LA and built his own universe. No gis, no bowing, no loyalty to old rules, just pure unfiltered jiu-jitsu with names like Mission Control, Zombie, and Electric Chair. That's how 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu was born, in defiance of convention, and it exploded, fast. MMA fighters took notice, Joe Rogan amplified the movement, and suddenly Eddie wasn't just the guy who tapped Royler, he was the mad scientist of modern grappling.
Well, I've taken the science and the concepts of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and infused it with a little evolution.
Say what you want about the system, it works. Tony Ferguson's unpredictable ground game, that's 10th Planet DNA. Gio Martinez, Richie Boogeyman, Grace Gundrum, they all carried the torch with that same offbeat style, mixing creativity with unorthodox control. And Eddie, he's still out there pushing boundaries, hosting EBI and combat jiu-jitsu events, and turning every stage into a proving ground for rule breakers. He's always been the guy willing to sound crazy in a room full of tradition, and somehow he kept being right. Gordon Ryan. If jiu-jitsu had a final boss, Gordon Ryan would be it. And not just because of the gold shorts and god-tier trash talk. Though yeah, there's plenty of that too. This guy didn't just dominate the no-gi scene, he rebuilt it around himself. The rise started quietly. New Jersey. Scrappy, lanky kid with Crohn's disease grinding in every training session under Gary Tonin and later John Danaher. But then came EBI, and Ryan didn't just win, he steamrolled the bracket. Suddenly, the jiu-jitsu world had to deal with a new style of leg locks, pressure passing, and brutal positional control, all fused into one ruthless package. Fast forward a few years, and he's the most feared grappler on the planet. His run through ADCC 2022 looked like a Netflix script, submitting everyone except one and manhandling Andre Galvao in a super fight that had been building tension for years. This wasn't just a win, it was a seismic shift. The Galvao era was over, Ryan's reign had begun. But here's the thing, it's not just that he wins, it's how he does it. Gordon narrates his matches and post-fight breakdowns like a chess master explaining a checkmate 20 moves ahead.
So because I don't have any upper body inside position and I can't pin his far shoulder, you see my right knee come up to control his left hip so he can't start wrestling up from this position. And that keeps his body pinned, keeps me on top, and then threatens three-quarter mount.
Opponents know what's coming, but no one stops it. He'll pass your guard, flatten your hips, mount you, and force the tap, all while making it look like a training round. Then there's the branding. The king, the PED accusations, the Instagram callouts, the rivalries with anyone not in his inner circle, all part of the Gordon Ryan playbook. Love him or hate him, you're watching. Roger Gracie. There are legends, and then there's Roger Gracie, the man who walked into the most elite grappling stages on earth, Told you what he was going to do and did it anyway. He's the gold standard, 10-time IBJJF world champion, ADCC double gold, and in 2009 he submitted all 8 opponents in the world championship, all by choke from the mount. It's not domination, that's historical cruelty. Everyone in the bracket knew what was coming, nobody had an answer. Roger didn't need trickery, no weird games, no spinning back control setups. His game was old school, but executed with mathematical perfection. Close guard, knee slide pass, cross collar choke. It was like watching chess where one player never blinked and the other couldn't move. He wasn't flashy, he was clinical, and that made him terrifying. Black belts who'd never been tapped were getting mounted and strangled over and over again. Then he took the pressure into MMA. 10 fights, 8 submissions, 1 decision win, 1 TKO. He beat Kevin Randleman, TKO James McSweeney, and submitted UFC vet Yuki Kondo. Even in a cage, Roger looked like he was back in his white gi, wrapping people up like it was Tuesday class. And when he returned to face Marcus Buchecha Almeida in 2017, the new king of jiu-jitsu, people expected a changing of the guard. Instead, Roger mounted him and choked him in front of the world. One last message, the throne's not vacant just yet. In a sport full of wild transitions and highlight reels, Roger Gracie made one thing brutally clear. The basics, when done perfectly, beat everything. Andre Galvão. If you've ever seen a highlight reel of ADCC, you've seen Andre Galvão launching someone like a crash test dummy. He didn't just win, he hurled his legacy into the air, one takedown at a time. By the time Galvão retired, he wasn't just a multi-time world champion, he was the face of ADCC. 4 gold medals, a record-setting streak of super fight wins, and the most terrifying guard passes and body lock takedowns in the game. He wasn't just powerful, he was calculated. Watch the 2011 ADCC finals. He takes Pablo Popovich down and controls him like he's setting up a tutorial. Then rinse and repeat across multiple years, defeating Braulio Estima, Claudio Calasanz, and Felipe Peña. That Peña match, he won at 36 against a guy in his prime. He built his name with technique and athleticism, but his empire came from Atos Jiu-Jitsu, a team that went from underdog to juggernaut. Think names like the Mendez brothers, Kenan Duarte, Tai Ruotalo, all killers, all forged in the Atos fire. He turned competition prep into a science. Conditioning, tactics, drills, everything was dialed to the decimal. He didn't train for matches, he engineered wins. Even his loss to Gordon Ryan in 2022, he showed up at 40, still ripped, still dangerous, still defiant. He could have dodged that match, claimed legacy and walked away, but he didn't. He stared down the storm and made Gordon earn it. Say what you want, Galvão defined an era. He didn't just fight champions, he trained them, fought them, beat them, then built a factory to produce more. Legacy cemented. ADCC tattooed on his resume. Rickson Gracie. In jiu-jitsu, there are legends, and then there's Rickson. Before flow rolls, barimbalos, and fancy gi patches, Rickson Gracie was the storm. The name alone carried an aura. You didn't just fight Rickson, you entered a myth. He claimed an undefeated record of over 400 fights. Most were in the dojo, some were in MMA rings, all of them personal. His style was pure jiu-jitsu, pressure, control, timing, but with a spiritual edge. Rickson didn't just fight the body, he dismantled the mind. The proof? Vale Tudo, Japan, 1994. 8 fighters, 1 night. Rickson took out 3 men in a row, submissions every time. No breaks, no bloodbaths, just surgical dominance. He came back the next year and did it again. The second tournament, he beat Yuki Nakai, a national hero in Japan, even after Nakai's eye was permanently damaged in a previous match. And Rickson still handled it with calm, lethal precision. He didn't flood the spotlight, he avoided it. That's part of what made him mythical. Even today, ask any black belt over 40 who the best ever was. Most won't hesitate. Rickson also brought in ideas that were ahead of their time. Breath work, invisible jiu-jitsu, body alignment. He trained like a samurai, fought like one too. His infamous breathing demonstrations, not just for show, they were tools. Tools to stay calm in chaos and to control the fight before it even began. No trash talk, no theatrics, just Rickson walking into war barefoot, then walking out untouched. Craig Jones. If BJJ had a rock band, Craig Jones would be the lead guitarist. Barefoot, dangerous, and cracking one-liners mid-solo. Before the memes and mullets, he was just another purple belt from Adelaide trying to make his mark. But then came ADCC 2017 and everything changed. Flying under the radar, Jones tapped Leonardo Lowe, one of the most feared competitors on the planet. That match, a nuclear moment. that point on, no one could pretend they hadn't heard the name Craig Jones. And he didn't stop there. He went on to submit Murillo Santana and gave Gordon Ryan a real fight in the semis. That year turned a little-known Aussie into a legit global problem. It wasn't just the technique. Craig had swagger no one else carried. While others obsessed over geese and loyalty, he rocked rash guards with Taco Bell logos and said things like, "I don't roll with emotions, just heel hooks." Speaking of which, heel hooks became his signature. Nasty, precise, and always unexpected. He helped usher in the new leg lock era that exploded through no-gi grappling like wildfire. Coaches started scrambling to learn what he was doing before their own students got tapped by it. Then came B-Team, the ultimate pivot. After parting ways with the Danaher Death Squad, Jones helped form one of the most talked-about gyms in the sport. Alongside Nick Ryan and Ethan Krellinston, they built a brand off being both elite and entertaining. And unlike most world-class grapplers, Jones doesn't care about being mysterious. He'll show you how he sets up a triangle, then mock you for not seeing it coming. It's funny, lethal, unfiltered, and quietly one of the most influential no-gi minds alive. So now that you've seen the icons, the rebels, and the masterminds, here's the real question. You had to build the ultimate BJJ fighter using pieces from each of these legends. Whose guard, whose mindset, and whose submission game are you choosing? Let us know in the comments section below. As you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.